The final UFC card of 2025 is next weekend. Royval versus Kape in the Apex, UFC Vegas 112. Even though it is in the Apex, it's still a pretty good card. Today, I'm going to be giving you guys my quick picks, my quick predictions. Before we go ahead and get into the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and let's get it started with the early prelim opener of Jamie Lynn Horth versus Teresa Bleda opens up this card. I know it's an absolute banger to open up the final card of 2025, but it isn't a good fight. It's not a good fight, but I'm going to go with Jamie Lynn Horth as the quick pick. I do have a bit of a Canadian bias. You know I'm a Canadian casual. There's 3 Canadians on this card. I'm not going to say I'm going to be riding with all of them, but we will see. I'm going to pick Jamie Lynn Horth, though, because she has been more active. She has been in there more often. Teresa Bleda, obviously, she hasn't fought much. She got knocked out by Natalia Silva, which is aged great. You know, Natalia Silva's a superstar, pretty much. She's number 1 contender. She should be fighting for the belt soon. But Teresa Bleda has been just so inactive, and I think Jamie Lynn Horth is going to push her around a little bit. She's pretty tough, pretty durable. I think she's going to be the better striker, and I think if she wants to take it to the mat, she can kind of dominate Teresa Bleda. So I'm going to go Jamie Lynn Horth by decision, obviously, 29-28. Maybe a close decision, but I'm going to lean Jamie Lynn Horth to get it done as the quick pick. We move on to the next fight. Alan Fry versus Guillermo Pat. Obviously, no pictures here. Both these guys aren't in the UFC. They're brand new, fresh, no contender series, no tough, no nothing. They're being added to the UFC. No idea why. Alan Fry is undefeated. Guillermo Pat's undefeated. I was looking at the records. I looked at a little bit of tape. From what I saw, this is going to be a bum fight. Last time we saw this happen in Qatar. They put 2 guys that didn't go through Dana White Contender Series, that didn't go through tough, straight into the UFC, and it was the shittiest heavyweight fight of all time. It was terrible. It was dog shit. And they're doing the same thing here. I think this is going to be a dog shit fight. I think we will get a finish here, though, because both guys are finishers. I pray we do. I pray it's not a staring contest like the heavyweight fight a couple weeks ago, but I'm going to lean with Guillermo Pat. I think Alan Fry is going to be the favorite. I think he's going to be a pretty massive favorite because people think he's super good. He's this American striker, 27 years old, super dangerous, knockouts in every one of his fights, but he doesn't have any decision experience. He doesn't have any adversity. He's fought bums, just literally fat bums. I think Guillermo Pat's going to be a lot tougher than all of Alan Fry's lesser competition that he's fought. So I'm going to go Guillermo Pat to get this one done by knockout in the 2nd or 3rd round after a first round where Alan Fry doesn't have his way going. I don't know, though, because I don't know either of these guys. So take this with a grain of salt. But the quick pick's going to be Guillermo Pat by knockout. We move on. Melissa Croden versus Luana Santos. Another one of my Canadians. All right, Melissa Croden, I saw her live. Her debut was great. She knocked out the girl that Luana Santos just beat as well. She knocked out, what's her name? Tainara Lisboa. Kicked her out the UFC, basically. Her first fight in the UFC, comes in, absolute scrap with Lisboa, and then knocks out in the 3rd round in Vancouver. I saw that live. I dabbed her up. It was sick. And I'm going to be honest, there's bias going into this. I do like Luana Santos, but she has some freaky stuff going on with her dog, man. So I'm going to go Melissa Croden. It's got nothing to do with the dog stuff, but that's just weird. The Luana Santos dog stuff, if you don't know, I don't want to explain it. I don't want to get into it. But I'm going to go with Melissa Croden. I know she's going to be an underdog. She's the more experienced one, in my opinion. She's got grit. She bites down on the mouth guard. She's fought the better competition. Luana Santos lost to fucking Casey O'Neill. I think was it Casey O'Neill? Terrible. Luana Santos is still young. She's still immature. Melissa Croden is mature. She's developed. She's got great striking abilities. Her grappling and her defensive grappling is really good. And I think she's going to find a knockout over Luana Santos. Or maybe a submission late in this fight. I think Luana Santos is going to get broken after that 1st or 2nd round when she's not getting her way with the takedowns, when she's not able to dominate a bigger, more physically demanding girl than Melissa Croden, who's going to bully Luana Santos later in this fight. I watched her in Vancouver build as the fight went on, even with a bloody nose, even getting popped by Tainara Lisboa, who's got power, who's a really good kickboxer. Croden didn't grapple with her, really. Luana Santos went straight to the grappling with Lisboa and got her way, but Melissa Croden stood, banged, and she got the better of the exchanges and ended up just dogging it out to that 3rd round and finding a finish. So all that being said, I'm going Melissa Croden as the quick pick by round 2 or round 3 knockout, ground and pound. She's going to stuff the takedowns with Luana Santos. I expect Santos to start panic shooting. I'm going Melissa Croden, my Canadian. I do have the Canadian bias, though, so take this one with a grain of salt as well. But I'm going Melissa Croden as the quick pick. We move on. Sean Sheriff versus Stephen Aspinall, guaranteed knockout. Low-key banger. Low-key banger because Sean Sheriff is a fat heavyweight who's going to stand and bang. Stephen Aspinall is a former fat heavyweight, cut down. Look at him. He's got the flabby skin. Good for Stephen Aspinall in the UFC now. First, he got the win on Dana White Contender Series. Chin that absolutely irritating piece of work, that irritating guy who was like, I'm the next John Jones, and then Stephen Aspinall put a big right and then left right in his face, dropped him, finished him in the first round in a matter of seconds. Nasty work by Stephen Aspinall. He's funny, he's entertaining, he's got a great personality. I think he wins this fight against Sean Sheriff. He's a taller, lengthier guy. Pause. But I think Stephen Aspinall's the better fighter. I think he is. Sean Sheriff, he lost to a Taffa brother. What else is there to say? He lost to one of the Taffas on short notice, got pieced up, got knocked out. I don't remember if it was Justin or I'm not going to remember the other one's name. But Stephen Aspinall gets this done by knockout, round 1. He's going to be my quick pick. We move on. Neil Magny back in the Apex, boys. Neil Magny back in the Apex. This is his home. This is his home. He went to Australia for a week. Fucked up my bets, man, and fucked up my picks. And that's what Neil Magny does, man. Every time I pick Neil Magny, he gets flatline KO'd. Every time I pick against him, he gets a third round Darce choke against a guy who's up 3 rounds on him pretty much. Like, I don't understand. Neil Magny flukes Mike Malott, and then he flukes fucking, what's his name? Oh my goodness. In Australia, you guys know who I'm talking about. Flukes him as well in the third round with Darce. Like, you gotta be kidding me. He's fighting Yaroslav Amasov. Crazy name. He's 18-1. Of course, they don't have a picture. They don't have a record. But he's 18-1, coming from a different promotion. Really dangerous guy. But he's fighting fucking Neil Magny in his debut. Could you give him a more difficult debut? Genuinely. You're giving him the cockroach of all cockroaches in his debut. I'm going with Neil Magny. And I'm going to say Neil Magny flukes the fuck out of Yaroslav Amasov late in this fight. You know, he's getting maybe pieced up round 1, round 2, and then just comes back in the third round, just cockroach maxes Yaroslav Amasov, pulls all the tools out of his bag. He's like, oh shit, I'm about to hit you with the Darce. Oh shit, I'm about to hit you with the ground and pound. And then next thing you know, Neil Magny's riding Amasov. Pause. He's riding his back, looking for a rear naked, looking for a Darce, looking for ground and pound, and he's going to finish Yaroslav Amasov in round 3. This is a Neil Magny thing, bro. But since I'm picking Neil Magny, don't be surprised when he gets flatline TKO'd in the first round or flatline knocked out in the first round. But I'm going to go Neil Magny. Crafty vet performance over a newcomer coming into the Apex. Short notice matchup here. Gonna have the pressure on him. I think Neil Magny is gonna thrive. So give me the cockroach max or Neil Magny as the quick pick by TKO, by ground and pound TKO. I'll say. We move on. Joanderson Brito versus Melsik Bagdasaryan. This is a very good matchup. Very fun striking matchup. I hope it stays on the feet. I hope it's a striking matchup because we just saw Joanderson Brito get rode. He got his ass rid by freaking Pat Sabatini for 15 minutes. He just got held. He just got held down. Couldn't move. Couldn't do anything. Looked bad. And Melsik Bagdasaryan coming off that brutal loss to Jean Silva got knocked out flat out cold. Like really bad. Really, really bad. So I expect this to be a banger of a fight. This is like a potential fight of the night. We'll see. There's a lot of potential fight of the nights on this card. It's a good card, honestly, good Apex card. But I'm going to go with Joanderson Brito to get this one done as the quick pick because of the experience, because of the danger factor, because he actually has some grappling, which Melsik does not. He doesn't have the grappling. And if Joanderson is losing on the feet, if he's getting outstruck, I think I can trust him to get a takedown or two and look for a submission, look for something. You know, he was able to sub that guy. What's his name? Oh, he also fought Pat Sabatini. I'm not going to remember his name, but he's subbed guys. He's got submissions. You know, he's dangerous on the feet. Pretty big for the division. Pretty bulky. I think he's going to bully Melsik Bagdasaryan a bit, and I think he's going to find a finish over him. You know, either submission, either knockout, maybe in the second or third round. I'm going to go Joanderson Brito to get this one done over Melsik Bagdasaryan as the quick pick. We move on. Jillian Robertson versus Amanda Lemos. We are coming for that belt. Jillian Robertson is coming for that fucking belt, boys. You see that Canada right there? You know I'm picking Jillian Robertson. Full biased. I think Amanda Lemos is washed. She's almost 39 years old. She's going to be the smaller woman here. She has got clear grappling holes in her game. She is tough. Amanda Lemos is tough, but you can see the grappling holes every time she fights. Tatiana Suarez was able to take her down, hold her down was it in the Apex? It wasn't even in the Apex. I think the fact that this isn't in the Apex benefits Jillian Robertson. She'll have an easier time closing the distance, an easier time cutting off the cage, an easier time getting Amanda Lemos to the ground and getting her back. I think Jillian Robertson can sub her. I think she can ground and pound TKO her. She's coming off a ground and pound TKO over Marina Rodriguez, which is great. You know, retired Marina Rodriguez, who is like even younger than Lemos. Lemos is unk, all right? I'm picking Jillian Robertson to get this fight done, probably by finish. I'm going to go Jillian Robertson by finish in the second or third round. Ground and pound TKO. She's really good with it. Her ground game is nasty, and she's improving her striking. She's the much younger fighter, the one on the momentum right now. They want Amanda Lemos to lose, and I want Jillian Robertson to win. So we're going to go with Jillian Robertson as the quick pick. Like I said, there is Canadian bias on this card. We got 3 Canadian women on this card, and I'm picking every single one of them. I am. And I think Jillian Robertson is going to get this one done, move up to number 5 in the rankings, and soon she'll be challenging for that belt. She's coming for Mackenzie Dern's belt. I'm telling you. Give me Jillian Robertson by TKO, round 2, ground and pound. Let's get it, Jilly. Let's move on. Kenny Nchukwu versus Marcus Buchecha opens up the main card. This is a really good fight. This is a really fun fight. Obviously, Marcus is not that experienced in MMA. He is a grappling guy. He is a jiu-jitsu guy. And he's fighting Kenny Nchukwu. This is a completely different matchup. You got a big striker at heavyweight versus a big grappler at heavyweight. This is interesting. Very, very interesting. We just saw Kenny get subbed by Walter Walker, bro. His big heel hook on Kennedy Nchukwu, nasty. I didn't think he was going to get it done over Kennedy. Kennedy was a favorite, and Walter got it done with the heel hook. And he's fighting Marcus Buchecha, who is a BJJ guy. So we just saw Kennedy get subbed. Can Marcus do it? I don't know, because Kennedy's really big. And we saw Marcus get smudged and get destroyed by fucking, what's his name? What the bum? I don't even know his name. He's not even in the UFC anymore. They kicked him out of the UFC after he beat Marcus in Abu Dhabi. Was it Abu Dhabi or the Arab Emirates? I don't remember. But he beat Marcus Buchecha, whatever, by decision. And Marcus just looked bad. He looked bad. He looked like a BJJ guy that's in MMA. And when you're fighting a dangerous guy like Kennedy, the last guy Marcus fought was not dangerous. Oh, it was Martin Buday. It was Martin Buday who got kicked out the UFC after he beat him clearly. And he was fighting Martin Buday, who's not dangerous, and he looked like a bum. Marcus looked like a bum. So I'm going to go Kennedy Nchukwu to get a bounce-back knockout after getting fluked by Walter Walker's heel hook. I'm just kidding. But Kennedy's going to knock out Marcus Buchecha. I'm pretty certain about this one. He's bigger. He's long. He's dangerous. Obviously, I just talked about the fact that the smaller cage and the jiu-jitsu, the grappling is going to be better for Jill. It could be better for Marcus here, but I'm going to trust that Kennedy circles, sticks, moves, keeps the takedown defense going well. Literally, Walter Walker didn't get the takedown on Kennedy. He literally pulled heel hook, which is crazy at heavyweight. But I'm going to go Kennedy by knockout for the quick pick. We move on. Melquizael Costa versus Morgan Charrier. When I was talking about fight of the night, this is one I'm very interested in. This is one that could be fight of the night without a doubt. Melky is on a big win streak right now. I think it's a 4 or 5 fight win streak. He's been very active. He was super active in 2025, nearing summertime. So in like March, April, May, June, like that time, I think he fought like 3 times within those few months. Now he's taking a big break off, which he deserves. He just beat Julian Erosa. Nasty fight of the night. Really, really good win by him. A lot of people have struggled with Julian Erosa, so he got that one done. And he's facing Morgan Charrier, the last pirate. Very dangerous, Morgan Charrier. He just knocked out Nate Landwehr in, I think it was Nashville, Tennessee. Doing that to Nate Landwehr. Who does that to Nate Landwehr in Nashville? Crazy. Morgan Charrier, third round, took all his tools out the bag and just started fucking winging hooks. He was crazy. He was unloading like crazy. Knocked out Nate Landwehr. It was probably like a 20 punch. He didn't land them all. He just started swinging big hooks, and the power connected. And he knocked out Nate Landwehr in Nashville in the 3rd round. It was a close competitive fight before that. So this is a very close fight, and it's a very tricky one to break down. Because when I'm looking at finishing capabilities, Melky's very good finishing-wise, but I think Morgan Charrier is the much more powerful guy, the much more dangerous guy. If he's right in your face and he's throwing big bombs, he can finish you. And we've seen Costa get clipped with big shots by Steve Garcia, by other guys. He's been clipped with big shots, and he's felt it bad, right? So it's tricky for sure. But I am going to go with Melquizael Costa to win this fight for a couple reasons. The length, the distance management from Costa has looked so much better. I think his distance management has gone really, really good. His kickboxing at range, his striking at range. He used to just be grappler. He used to just be looking for submissions and looking to take you to the ground, looking to hold you down. But against Julian Erosa, he struck with them the whole fight and looked really good. The kicks off the back foot, switching stances, switching kicks. He looked really good, really smooth. I know Morgan Charrier is crazy. He could definitely mix it up. He could definitely chin Costa. But I'm going to lean Costa with the win streak at the moment, with the way he's been looking, the grappling advantage as well. If Morgan Charrier does get reckless, I think Costa can take him down. He can hold him down. He's really good with his guillotines, if Charrier does decide to shoot. So I'm going to go Melquizael Costa to win this fight, either by submission or decision. I could see him getting a guillotine or maybe getting a rear naked choke, but I think he's going to win a decision because Morgan Charrier is really tough, really durable, hard to finish on the ground. Who was it? I've got the name. I'm trying to think of the name. Oh my goodness, the English guy. When they were in London, I can't think of his name right now. Wasn't able to finish him on the ground. Wasn't able to knock him out. Charrier is very tough. So I'm going to say Melquizael Costa gets a decision win here. Could be fight of the night for sure. He'll be my quick pick. We move on. Cesar Almeida versus Cezary Oleksiejczuk. This is another banger, another one that could be fight of the night. Cesar Almeida 7-1, big power in the hands, coming off a huge knockout win over what's his name? Alma something. Al Hassan. Sorry, Al Hassan knocked him out clean at the beginning of 2025. The first card. This is crazy. He fought on the first card of 2025 and the last card of 2025. That is too funny. Cesar Almeida is coming off that big knockout win over Al Hassan. Took a lot of time off. He's finally back at the end of the year in the Apex again. And he's fighting Cezary Oleksiejczuk, Mikhail Oleksiejczuk's brother. I think his younger brother, who is not 1-0. He won on Dana White Contender Series, like 20-second finish, really nasty, just crazy ground and pound. Finished him, pounded away and finished him. And yeah, he's good. I think he's like 18 and something, or like 17. I don't remember his exact record, but he is very experienced. He's not 1-0. And this is a really good fight. A very tricky fight to predict because Cesar Almeida has big power in his hands. And I do expect this fight to stay on the feet. I don't see Cesare shooting takedowns. I don't see Cesar Almeida shooting takedowns. If we're going to see somebody with the takedowns, it might be Almeida. But this should be a stand and bang, just a scrap in that first round. I expect a first round knockout from either one of these guys. And it's really tough to predict who, but I'm going to go with Cesar Almeida by first round knockout. I do like Cezary Oleksiejczuk, but I think he's too young. He is experienced. He's got more fights, more MMA fights than Cesar Almeida, but it's against low comp. Cesar Almeida has fought really good guys. His only loss is to Roman Kopylov by split decision, very close decision, and I think he can catch Cezary Oleksiejczuk coming in. You know, Oleksiejczuk's, both brothers just wing big hooks, and they are not sharp, not tight. If Cesar Almeida pops him with straight shots, jab, 1-2, or a nice tight hook like he caught Al Hassan with, I think he can put down Cezary Oleksiejczuk, and I think he can finish him on the ground. I'm going to lean Cesar Almeida. But this one, I'm low-key fence-sitting like bedtime, man. I'm fencing the shit out of this one. I'm not too confident here, but I'm going to pick Cesar Almeida as the quick pick by round one knockout. Catches Cezary Oleksiejczuk throwing big hooks, just catches him with a clean shot, maybe an uppercut, maybe a check left hook. We'll see, but I'm going to go Cesar Almeida as the quick pick. We move on to the co-main event, Giga Chikadze versus Kevin Vallejos. We are coming for the rankings, as Kevin would say. This guy is 23 years old. He thinks he's the shit. I'm going to be honest. He kind of pisses me off. Kevin Vallejos kind of pisses me off. Just the way he acts, pretending like his biggest accomplishment is going to a decision with Gene Silva. You know, I know that is kind of impressive because Gene's finished everybody, but you can't be riding off that your entire career, bud. You know, he's fighting Giga Chikadze. Giga is holding down the fort at the rankings. He's way taller than Kevin Vallejos. Sniper, the Giga kick, his signature kick. He's very dangerous, big power in his legs. And this is a tough one to predict. A lot of people, I think, are going to be picking Kevin Vallejos this week, being like, oh, this is easy. I expect him to be a pretty big favorite. For some reason, I see Kevin Vallejos being like a 3-1 favorite or something. It's going to be crazy. But I'm going to go with Giga Chikadze. I don't give a fuck. I'm going with Giga Chikadze. The experience, the length, the height. Look at that. 6 foot to 5'7". I think he's going to be sniping Kevin Vallejos from the outside. Kevin's going to be trying to close the distance the entire time. We saw him have difficulties with fucking Danny Silva, who's like 1 inch taller than Kevin Vallejos, piping him from the outside with shots. Shooting shots on the outside, and clipping him. And he was having trouble with Danny Silva, a guy not even close to the rankings. I don't think Kevin Vallejos is ready. I think this is too early, too soon. Giga is still good. He had a close fight with David Onama. The only difference was the grappling. Kevin Vallejos is not going to grapple. If Kevin Vallejos grapples, I would be shocked. If he grapples, he could win this fight. But he's not a grappler. He's a striker. He's a boxer. And I don't see him knocking out Giga Chikadze, who hasn't been knocked out by Calvin Kattar, wasn't knocked out by Arnold Allen, wasn't knocked out by David Onama. He was just grappled up in those fights. Calvin Kattar grappled him. David Onama grappled him. You know, Arnold Allen got the better of him in the exchanges later on, but Giga won that first round. People forget, man, he won that first round. His kicks are nasty. His shots from the outside are nasty. He's taller. He's longer. He's more dangerous, in my opinion, and I think Kevin Vallejos needs to get inside with his boxing and really put it on Giga if he wants to win this fight or grapple him. But I don't see either of those happening. I think Giga's too long for him. So give me Giga Chikadze to win this fight by decision. 29-28, close decision, but I think Giga's going to get the better of the exchanges. I think his cardio is better, and I think his reach, his length is just better with the kicks. The shots upstairs, the straight punches are going to be difficult for Kevin Vallejos to get past at 5'7", stocky little guy. I don't think he's going to do it, man. So give me Giga to win this fight by decision. We move on to the main event. Brandon Royval versus Manel Kape. This is a fun main event. Really fun main event. You know, Manel Kape, we haven't seen him in a minute. He pulled out of that fight against, who was he supposed, was he supposed to fight Royval, and then he pulled out? Oh yeah, he was supposed to fight Royval at 317. And then he pulled out, gave Joshua Van the opportunity, and then Van fucking beats Royval and is about to fight for the belt. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Manel Kape threw the bag completely, but I'm going with Brandon Royval. I don't give a fuck. I hate Manel Kape. I hate Manel Kape. This is a biased pick. I don't like Manel Kape. He's a piece of shit. He's a piece of shit. And I stand by that. I try not to hate on fighters, but Manel Kape is a dirty fighter. He eye pokes every single one of his opponents. He literally just got an eye poke knockout against Asu Almabayev. Rewatch that. He goes eye poke combination to knock out Asu Almabayev. Eye poke combination. How is that not a no contest? Insanely disgusting. The worst thing I've ever seen. Manel Kape is a dirty fighter. I'm going to stand by that. I hate the way he fights. He's a fun fighter. He'll bring it. But he also hypes up fights, and then he does not deliver. Brandon Royval will deliver. He is a dog. I can trust a dog like Brandon Royval to get through Manel Kape. He's longer. He's more dangerous. Kind of like the Giga Chikadze prediction against Kevin Vallejos. This is the same thing. Longer striker who's got better 5-round experience, a guy who's been there, done that. I think Brandon Royval shows levels, and I'm going to go Brandon Royval to win this fight by submission. By submission. Sneaky bet by submission, boys. Brandon Royval is going to get the takedown at some point. I truly believe he's not going to do the same thing he did with Joshua Van. I've seen interviews of him talking about that fight. You know, he realized it was a scrap. It was a good fight. He could hear the crowd. He kept it on the feet. I don't expect him to do that against Manel Kape. I think he needs to get back in the win column, get back to his number one contender spot. And I think he's going to take down Manel Kape at some point in this fight. And I'm going to go third round submission. Third or fourth round submission after a little bit of back and forth. Manel slows. He showed it in multiple fights. Against Makayev, he looked like shit. Against multiple guys, he's looked like shit. I think Brandon Royval is the more durable guy. He's never been, I think he's only been finished by submission against Pantoja. If I'm corrected, he's never been knocked out. From what I know. Yeah, he's never been knocked out. I'm going Brandon Royval. I'm going Brandon Royval as the quick pick. Nothing else to say. I think he gets it done. I think he shows the grappling. I think he's longer. I think he's got a better 5-round experience. I think he's not a cheater, a dirty scumbag cheater. I'm going Brandon Royval to win this fight. Let's go, Raw Dog. He's going to be my quick pick. Those are all my quick picks for UFC Fight Night, Vegas 112, Royval versus Kape. If you guys did enjoy the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, drop it down in the comments who you guys are picking in the main event, and I will catch you guys in the next video. See you.